Well. This time we will speak English, and I'm going to speak. My name is Devadas, LOKA Devadas, also Björn Skollén, Swedish, lover of OSHO and meditation. And I will speak a little bit about one person, one book that has been important to me in my research about meditation. Yeah, because it's a research and a continuous deepening in this mystery of life. Now, to begin with, I went to India already when I was 19 years old. I was looking for the wisdom of India, and I wanted to study Buddhism. And one time I went to the Kumbh Mela, 1971, and this article was an interview with me where I said that the purpose of our traveling to the East, all the hippies coming to India, was basically to find out some of the wisdom of the India, of the yogis, the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the science of meditation, and to bring that back to Europe, in my case Sweden, and maybe enrich the culture of the Swedish materialistic left-wing political society at the time, 1968, 9 and 71. This article was made in 71 at the Kumbh Mela. So that was the starting point, and then later I must tell you about the book that has been most rewarding to me. It starts with a person, a writer, called Paul Reps. He was traveling in Kashmir in the 50s already. He went to Kashmir to study the wisdom of the sadhus there, and he writes there about what he found. This man called Paul Reps. He writes like this. He studies like, he thinks it's Zen Buddhism. It's neither new, neither is it anything old. Long before Buddha was born, the search was on in India, as the present work shows. Long after man has forgotten such words as Zen and Buddha, Satori and Kuan, China and Japan and America, still the search will go on. Still search will be... Oh, excuse me, I must put on my reading glasses here. And Zen will be seen even in flowers and grass blades before the sun. The following is adapted from the preface to the first vision of English of an ancient work, the Vijnana Bhairav Tantra. The revolutionary with Paul Reps was that he translated this work, the Vijnana Bhairav Tantra, the songs of Shiva, the sutras of Shiva, before anyone else. He was traveling in the 50s already, and he writes like this: wandering in the ineffable beauty of Kashmir, above Srinagar, I came upon the hermitage of Lakshman Ju. It overlooks green rice fields, the gardens of Shalimar and Nishat Ba, lakes fringed with lotus, water streams down from the mountain top. Here, Lakshman Yu, tall, full-bodied, shining, welcomes me. He shares with me the ancient teaching from the Vigyambharav and Suhananda Tantra, both written about 4,000 years ago, and from Malini Vyaya Tantra, probably another 1,000 years older yet. It's an ancient teaching, copied and recopied countless times, and excuse me, from it Lakshman Yu has made the beginnings of an English version. So Lakshman Yu had already tried to make an English version of this Sanskrit teaching, these songs, these verses. I transcribe it 11 more times to get it into the form given here. Så Paul Reps, han skriver om texten 11 gånger innan han blir nöjd. Och så publicerar han det i en bok som hette då, som kom ut 1962. A book came out 1962. Called Sen Flesh, Sen Bones on Penguin pocketbooks. And this text was published there. First was 101 Zen stories, because Zen is not a teaching, it has no philosophy, no dogmas. It just consists of more or less funny educational stories, small short stories. And the book contains 101 short stories. And then comes this text, which Paul Reps got in Kashmir, the Vigyambharav Tantra. The Vigyambharav Tantra contains Shiva's teaching, and it was 112 meditation techniques called centering techniques. And I have made something which I called satsang theater to explain this work, the Vigyambharav Tantra. I made 11 in English. It's like a theater, 1 hour. I explain and make an introduction to the work of the 112 meditation techniques, so that the listener will know where to start to look, where to start to research, and for himself go deeper into the mystery of meditation. Because it's less mysterious when you study the text of Shiva. It becomes very practical. Now, the story goes that Shiva, he first chanted these Vigyambharav Tantra to his wife, Devi, in the language of love we have yet to learn. It's about the immanent experience. It presents 112 ways to open the invisible door of consciousness. I see Lakshman Yu gives his life to its practicing. Some of the ways may appear redundant, yet each differs from any other. Some may seem simple, yet another one requires constant dedication, even to test it. The text goes on. Paul Reps Paul Reps is the right. I'm like the librarian for the Free Academy. Free Academy is a tradition from the Socrates and Plato in Athens, and we have a library on the internet. The website where you find Free Academy is called like freeacademy.se, Sweden. Free Academy, just one A in the middle, freeacademy.se. And there you can find links to my 20 satsang theaters on YouTube. On YouTube you find them on my name, LOKA Devadas. My name is Devadas. LOKA, it's where I live in Sweden. LOKA Devadas. Okay, Paul Reps writes on here, machines, ledgers, dancers, athletes, balance, just as centering or balance augments various skills, so it may awareness. As an experiment, try standing equally on both feet. Then imagine you are shifting your balance slightly from one foot to the other, just as balance center do you. If we are conscious in part, this implies more inclusive consciousness. Have you a hand? Yes. That you know without doubt. But until asked the question, were you cognizant of your hand apart? I have a hand, but I usually forget about it until someone mentions it. Surely men are inspirited in part, known and unknown to the world, have shared a common, uncommon discovery. The Tao of Lao Tse, Nirvana of Buddha, Jehovah of Moses, the Father of Jesus, the Allah of Muhammad, all point to the experience. No thingness spirit. Once touched, the whole life clears. No thingness. It's talking about becoming in your awareness slightly before the thoughts appear. Well, now the text starts, which he translated in the 50s. This is the text. Now, it starts with some questions from Shiva's wife. Shiva has a beautiful wife called Devi here in the text, and she asks him, "O Shiva, what is your reality? What is this wonder-filled universe? What constitutes seed? Who centers the universal wheel? What is this life beyond form, pervading forms? How may we enter it fully, above space and time, names and descriptions? Please let my doubts be cleared." Well, it is said that Devi asked these questions not because she needs an answer, because she's already enlightened in her 100% love for Shiva. She is loving and cannot be anything more than loving, and is free in that devotional love to Shiva. But she asks these questions so that Shiva gives the opportunity to Shiva to with his brilliant speech, give 112 pointings. He's pointing to where you can look to find this answer which is within yourself and beyond mind. So I will not go through all of the 112 centering techniques. I will just give you a few examples. To begin with, he starts with answering his wife like this. She's radiant, so he says, "O radiant one, sweet of touch, when this experience, my reality," he doesn't answer what his reality is. She asks, "What is your reality? Oh Shiva, what is your reality?" He doesn't answer that. He gives her 112 centering techniques so that she may experience herself what reality he is in. Bliss, Satchitananda, truth, awareness, bliss. So, O radiant one, he says, the first technique, this experience may dawn between two breaths. When breath goes in and turns and goes out, at the turning points, realize there is a gap. In this gap, when the breath goes in and turns and goes out and turns, in this gap, being is revealed. In this way, the first 10 centering techniques in this text from Paul Reps or Vigyambharav Tantra, the text is from Shiva. These techniques has been used very much in the Buddhist tradition. And then there are some wonderful techniques, for example, listening to music, which is technique number 17. Shiva says, while listening to stringed instruments, hear their composite central sound, thus omnipresent. In this way, be everywhere. When you listen to music and you go deep inside the music, you forget time, space, and you just become one with the music, with the central core of the music. This is one meditation technique from Shiva. Another favorite one is, I think 45, 48. Or 41, for example, which is very sweet. Shiva says, while being caressed, when you get a hug, sweet princess, enter the caressing as everlasting life. Enter the hug as everlasting life. No thinking, just enter the caress as everlasting life. That's a meditation technique at 41. And I will give you another one. 49, which is very, very revolutionary. He says, wherever satisfaction is found, in whatever act, actualize this. So when you, for example, eating something, become one with the taste. When you looking at something, or when you are maybe doing some craft, whatever you're doing, wherever satisfaction is found, in whatever act, actualize this. Gör sak av det. Gå in i det helt och fullt. Well, actualize this. Vi ska se här. Here is one with about sleeping, which I like. Shiva says, at the point of sleep, if you have problem with sleeping, even at the point of sleep, when sleep has not yet come, an external wakefulness vanishes. At this point, being is revealed. So this technique you can do when you're going to sleep, just before going to sleep, and external wakefulness vanishes. Being is revealed. Also when you wake up, before the mind starts spinning, you wake up, you're just aware at this, you don't know where you are, you just wake up. At this point, being is revealed. It can take months before, because when you go into sleep, you have to stop just before you go into deep sleep and be aware there, and then you slip away. Here is another one, which is sweet. Shiva says, simply by looking into the blue sky, serenity. Simply by looking into the blue sky, beyond clouds, the serenity. Also, the serenity. Simply by looking into the eternity. The sky has no limits, it has no edges. When looking into the blue sky, beyond clouds, the serenity. Do that off and on when you're out walking. Just stand still and look into the blue sky. There you have a point of meditation, a mandala, as you like, an endlessness. Vi ska se här. '71 is funny. When some desire comes, consider it. Then suddenly quit it. When some desire comes, consider it. Then suddenly quit it. Suddenly quit it. That's very funny. You can experience that. Here's another one. In moods of extreme desire, be undisturbed. It goes very well with anger also. In moods of extreme anger, be undisturbed. There's two ways when you get angry. You can get into the anger, into the mind, you can, or the person you're angry at. You can hit him on the nose. Or you can go in and to the center of your awareness, which is totally calm, like the center of a cyclone. The center of a cyclone is still, there's no wind there. You just go in and watch the anger. And then you can act instead of reacting. In moods of extreme desire, in extreme anger, be undisturbed. This is very useful. Versus all the Roman Stoic philosophers use this. And also Epictetus used to love this. One of the Greek philosophers, my favorite. Yeah. Now 91 is very fantastic. Technique 91, but I think I would like to have the one Shiva says like this in one of the techniques. Oh, lotus-eyed one. She has such beautiful eyes, Devi, like lotus flowers. So he says to her, oh, lotus-eyed one, sweet of touch. When singing, seeing, tasting, be aware you are and discover the ever-living. when singing, seeing, tasting. You can, when singing, seeing, hearing, anything, when singing, seeing, tasting, be aware you are. Self-remembering, you are. Whatever you're doing, walking, standing, sitting, just remember, I am, and discover the ever-living. This is very fantastic technique, very simple in its shape. But the most important one was 91 for me. Technique 91, because my question going to India was how to quiet the mind. I asked all the gurus traveling from north to south for 3-4 years, winters, 3-4 winters, and I visited Nimkareli Baba, I visited Sai Baba, I visited the mini guru, I visited many sadhus and yogis, nameless for your interest, but only when I met OSHO. Now OSHO comes into the picture, and he starts to take this text from Paul Reps, and he starts to talk about each of these sutras, songs from Shiva. He speaks about them for more than 1 hour each one, maybe half an hour. And then he goes on and answering questions also about these techniques. It takes him 80 discourses. 1972, 1973, Osho, then called Sri Bhagavan, Sri Rajneesh. Bhagavan Sri Rajneesh, he was called at that time. And he didn't start Pune at that time. He was in Bombay. I met him in Bombay. We were only 5 hippies on the floor in his library, listening to him explaining the text from Paul Reps. Paul Reps gives the text, published it 1962. Osho finds the book, he reads it, he likes it, and he gives his first big book about meditation on this subject, the Paul Reps Sutras, the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. So that is his first attempt to explain to the West what meditation really is. And it is so various, many things. So it's wonderful indeed. It's not just sitting, it's active meditation. And just the one of the meditation techniques is devotion freeze. Like just the devotion. When you are devoted, devotion freeze. I told that when I gave this satsang theater once at Sai Baba. He invited me on the Shivaratri week in Sashadam ashram in Rishikesh. So I gave this talk and I talked about all these sutras. And then I said to all the disciples of Sai Baba, you don't need these techniques. You have only, because you are already free in your love for Sai Baba, for Prem Baba. There is one technique called just devotion freeze. You are free in your very devotion, in your love for your guru. In that very moment, you are 100% devoted to your love, to your guru. There is the meditation source. That's the endless source of meditation. No. So, this talk about how to quiet the mind, which was like, it is like how to stop the clouds going on the sky, how to stop a river. That's not the thing. So he came to this technique 91, when it goes like this: wherever your mind is wandering, internally or externally, at this very place, this very mind is the door. Wherever it's wandering, you don't need to empty the mind. You can just use the mind wherever it's wandering, internally or externally. At this very place, this awareness is there. Whatever, you couldn't even think without awareness. Awareness is the key. So Osho explains these techniques very, very beautifully. And that explaining, I dropped my question, how to quiet the mind. Because that is not the point. You just enjoy whatever the mind presents to you and rest as awareness, wherever that is. This very mind is the door. So that is how I came into the Vijnana Tantra, and Paul Reps is the one writer to be honored here. He went to India also to find the wisdom of the India and bring it to the West. So did Bodhidharma. He took Buddhism to China, to bring Buddhism, the wisdom of Buddha, to China. In his backpack, he carried the Diamond Sutras from Buddha, which is what his disciples wrote down, as they remembered, sitting with him for many years. The Diamond Sutras is just some 2-3 pages of writings, which also Osho gives comments to. So Bodhidharma went to China, to the Emperor of China, to bring Buddhism to China. And so I went with the tapes from Osho, the recordings, the magnetic tapes, these big, they were tape recording all the talks from when he explained this text, the sutras from Shiva. And I carried them to Sweden and listened to them for 50 years. And so now I'm sitting here telling you this is the most important text in whole my life. It's called the Book of Secrets, and you can find that from on this website, oshoworld.com. Look, oshoworld.com. If you go there, it's an Indian website. There you can download all the talks from Osho. And please download this, where Osho explains Paul Reps' texts here, and it's called Vijnana Bhairav Tantra. Consciousness beyond thought. So that is approximately what I wanted to tell you today. I wanted to praise Paul Reps. I wanted to praise Bodhidharma. I wanted to praise Osho for giving the explanation, because without the explanation, these sutras are very, very short. They're just like, they are so easy that they become difficult. So please listen to Osho explaining them, and in such beautiful language as he was speaking from in English. He was the best speaking guru in India last century. He was the master of words. He was the storyteller of the Orient. He was unbeatable. He was the measure rule, the rule stick that all the gurus have to measure up to, and no one will match the quality, the depth and the width that Osho, he spoke about Buddha, Jesus, Sufis, Bodhidharma, the Zen masters, you name it. But go to this website and download to your phone and listen to it as a pod or something. Listen to it to an audiobook. Listen to it repeatedly and just enjoy the presence of the wisdom of the Orient, the Shiva wisdom. It's the highest teaching ever given on the world of meditation and Zen. So with this I say namaste and thank you for listening, and I hope this was recorded sweetly. Ha! Thank you for today. See? All right.